Okay, drawing, so we are back with day 2 of your crosshatch. Hopefully you have completed your chart, your worksheet, and you've printed the image. Here's the image I talked to you about before. Like I said, you can maybe think of an idea that you idealize, friendship, motherhood. Maybe it's just a person, but you want to find a nice black and white portrait of whatever that is that you're going to create. Okay? So once you have emailed it, you want to create a carbon transfer. This is the cheap way of doing that. You flip it over and you color the back side of your picture with pencil. Okay? I like to hold it up to the light so I can check that I got all the edges of where my important parts of my picture are. Then you need to get your own crosshatch paper, whether you're doing the larger or the smaller size. Make sure you take some masking tape. Don't use Scotch tape. And you're going to just want to make sure that you tack at least the top part on top of your scratch paper so it doesn't move as you're tracing. So I have my image and my crosshatch underneath. Okay? Now make sure you get a nice sharp pencil. As you can see before, I did my best to try and get a solid coloring of lead on the back. The more solid it is, the better your transfer will be. And now what my job is to just trace along the outside edges of my image. Any place I see something dark, I want to trace that. Mainly you want to get your outer edges. What this is going to do is transfer this nice image, at least the contours of it, onto your crosshatch paper and give you a nice guideline to work with. This should hopefully be a nice change from your last couple of projects, since we've been mostly drawing from just observation a lot. Always more than one way to do something. I like to try and get as many of the details as I can, so you can see I traced along the fingers. Even if there's a shadow, you can put that on there. That's going to help you later. Trace this adorable little ear here. So as you can see, I'm tracing around the shapes. You have to just kind of use your best judgment. Maybe a suggestion of where the hairline is just to help guide me, but I don't need to do a whole lot. Of course, where the eye is, and the little shadow for the nose. Okay? You have to press with pretty good medium to hard pressure here in order for it to get a nice transfer of a line. Again, going around all of my contour or outer edges here. Along the face area. And don't be afraid of pressing too hard. This crosshatch paper is pretty thick. Make sure you get the nose. The more detailed you can be with your tracing, the easier it's going to be once you go about crosshatching it. I'm going to actually sketch in where the eyebrow is, get the hairline there, and all the way around the edges. Okay, a little bit of a hairline here, and then the top of the head here. Okay, so what I've done now is define all the main areas where there is an image. Okay, if I pull it up, you can see how nicely that is transferred onto here now. I can see all my edges, and I have a nice proportionate scale. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, so keep your printout because this is going to be your guide. Now I have my drawing, and I have my original. Okay, when I'm doing crosshatch, I like to start with the lightest area first. So I kind of am going to overlap, and I'm going to start and work from the right to the left. I know that pretty much all this cheek area is going to be completely white. The areas that are going to be cross-hatched are going to be anything that I see here that is a gray. Okay? So to start, I'm just going to kind of remove those areas that I know are going to be totally white. And yes, this is going to take you some time. These turn out really nice, and because you can trace them, it's a nice introduction. And you can see here, right underneath her ear, there starts to be some gradient there. So just kind of do light. Always make less marks. You can always go back and add more to the marks, but you really can't take them out. Once it's there, it's there. So take your time. Okay, so I'm going to go along and just sort of work on getting my highlights first, or the lightest areas, the areas that are totally white. Okay, then like in these little shadowed areas under the eye, that's where I have to kind of adjust and make some value. Okay, and like I said, tiny, delicate little marks. And you can each kind of have a different style. You just have to see what's going to work for you. Right now, I'm just kind of going through and outlining the areas that are going to be left dark. So that's like the eyebrow there. Okay. So you can kind of choose to do it inverse or you know, positive or negative, where you're going to make the things that are black actually be white, or whether you're going to try and keep those black areas as black on here. Okay. And if you're going to do that, then you're going to have to carve away all those areas that are the whitest areas. Either one will look interesting and will be nice to see, but you just have to kind of play around with it and see what it starts to turn into. A little bit of a highlight on the chin here, and then there's a little bit of a shadow on the chin here. So just kind of lightly sketching that in. And it is going to look like a lot of texture. You'll get a ton of texture buildup in this project, and that's part of what makes it really interesting. So again, areas that are really white, I'm going to carve away almost all of the black coating. Okay, so you guys are starting to get the idea of how this is going to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this, and hopefully you can see the example later.